Welcome back to Limestone County Sports. Co-host Jay Vassar. Did you have a great weekend?
Man, yeah, you?
Yes, I did. You see any good football?
Saw some good football Friday night and watched all day Saturday at home. So.
There was a few decent games on Saturday. There was some other questionable games on Saturday. We might get into talking about those a little bit too. Depends on if we can get through all of our high school games from Friday. My name is Greg Wise, host of Limestone County Sports. We'll be talking high school football over the next 30 minutes or so. Jay, we're going to go ahead and jump right in.
Let's do it.
In 2A, Tanner, I think they were at home again this past week. They hosted Winston County and fell 50-0 to Winston County. It was 36-0 at the half. Know anything about that game?
Well, I know Tom had told me that Coach Smith told him before the game they had about 4 kids out. So
injuries or other things?
Yeah, injuries. So, they're playing a lot of kids that hadn't played before. So, and it's just rough for them right now.
Yeah, especially for a new head coach. You said they lost a lot of seniors off that team from last year, so it's going to take a while to get the ship righted and headed in the right direction. But you got young guys. That's something you can build on and look ahead to the future. This week, again, they got Lexington. I think they go to Lexington. Lexington is 1-2 on the season, 0-1 in region play. One of those losses comes to Lauderdale County, and Lauderdale County a juggernaut.
Yeah.
But Lexington, the ahsfhs.org, where we get a lot of our information from, is favoring Lexington in that contest by 14 points. You like that spread?
Yeah, it may be more than that.
I was thinking so too. Not that we condone gambling in any form or fashion. These are just statistics that we get off that website. But I would assume that would probably that's a word, probably be a little worse than that. If I was putting a line out there, maybe 28 or so.
Especially with Lexington coming off that loss this weekend. So.
That's right. Who they play?
Oh,
hold on, we can find
can't remember.
out. We can find out.
Oh, Decatur Heritage.
That's right. Yep.
Decatur Heritage.
That was a region game for them as
well. Yes.
So coming off loss, Elkmont game. Is the game that they've won, and so they are 1-2 on the season. So hopefully Tanner can get things rolling over there. You never know what happens. Talking about Tanner having a few out. At any given time, you can have injuries and sickness and all kinds of things. I don't wish those things on anybody, but those are the things that happen during football season. Yeah. I know I hear the coaches at Ardmore talk about if we stay healthy. And so I know all the coaches do that as well. And hopefully they can get things rolling again. Moving on over, staying on the south side of the county. Clements had Colbert Heights in town. Another home game for Clements. Played well. Clements was up 8-0 at halftime. Was you at that game this weekend?
I was.
Give us all the deets.
And just like I told you off camera there, Colbert Heights threw the ball maybe one time the whole game, which was right towards the end, first half, in which they threw a pick. And
so they had one pass attempt, and it went to the other team. I
think that's right. I may be wrong, but I think that's what it was.
And it went to the other team.
Yeah.
So probably wouldn't throw it.
They get some good running backs, which one got hurt the other night. So
Colbert Heights.
Yeah. And same way with the Brick at Clements is Tanner's problem. They got some kids that's never played before, and just the ones that's never played before, the ones that's making the mistakes, jumping off sides. Is giving them extra downs, and that's what led to the Colbert Heights scoring. They went up 14-8. Yep. Clements had the ball 4th and 9. They go for it, get it. They're in Colbert Heights territory. Maybe they're 35-40 yard line. First play, Jake tries to go deep, throws into double coverage interception, and they go down and run the clock out. 14-8.
Yep. Again, I'm been very impressed with Brick's offensive play calling in the game that I've seen anyway. Seems to be taking what the defense will give him.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for in high school football. Let's see. This week they have Rogers. They'll be on the third straight home game for the Clements Colts.
And I think this is homecoming too. So.
Nice. So they got Rogers coming in. Rogers is 2-1 on the season, 1-0 in region play. The pundits from the website we use have Rogers favored by 16 points. You think that is a
That's
reasonable,
probably accurate.
pretty close?
Yeah.
Would you take Rogers to cover the 16 or take Clements and the points?
Well, I'd take Rogers.
To cover the 16.
Even though Clements don't have no injuries, it's just the fact that mistakes is killing them.
Yep.
And, lack of depth and just injuries and just mental mistakes is hurting them right now.
Right. Let's see. Trying to pull up Rogers' schedule right here. Rogers is 2-1. They've beat Wilson. They lost to Lawrence County, which is 5A.
Yeah.
And then they just beat Sheffield 30-0, who has Clements coach.
Michael Parker, yes.
Went from Clements to Sheffield this past season.
And he's actually not the head coach. He's helping.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was the head coach.
They hired a gentleman that was the coach years ago to come back. So I think he's the coach in wait.
Gotcha. Did not know that.
Yes.
So anyway, Rogers comes to town this Friday night, and Rogers favored by 16 points. Moving over to Western Limestone County, West Limestone had the juggernaut West Morgan come in, and was a pretty tight game at halftime. West Morgan was up 10-7. But went on to stretch it out in the second half, and West Morgan finishes off the Wildcats 29-7 in the region opener for both teams.
And as far as I didn't hear much. We didn't have Coach Davis on Saturday, so just basically just what you said. That's how I kept up with it Friday night at Clements, and it was 7-0 for a while West, and then I don't know what West Morgan did, but they went in there and once they got going, they keep going.
Yeah, we were talking before we started recording about just offensive play calling and things like that. West Morgan has one of the best offensive play callers in the state, in my opinion. Just from what I've seen on the field, I don't know if the head coach is it Drew Phillips.
Drew Phillips.
I don't know if he's calling the offensive plays or he's letting his offensive coordinator do that. But man, they're tag teaming that or whatever they're doing. And traditionally, over the last couple of years that I've seen them, it's been fantastic.
And just talking to a buddy of mine, his brother helps at West Morgan. They had a block punt for a scoop and score. Got negated. What do we call it?
Negated.
Negated. There you go. By
these are big words for Limestone County rednecks.
By inverted whistle.
Inadvertent whistle.
There you go. It's too early, guys.
Yeah. We're recording way too early. The referee just blows the whistle to call the play down.
Yeah.
It was actually not down, block punt, they scoop and score.
Yeah.
But negates everything because he blew the whistle.
Yeah.
Well, that was timely.
Yeah.
And so I guess it
was good for West, but not good for West Morgan.
Yeah, well, West Morgan won anyway, 29-7, so didn't change the outcome of the game. Speaking of officiating, I love the officials that we have. They do a fantastic job. I know most of them are traveling all over the state or North Alabama on Friday nights.
And we know there's a shortage of them as well.
Yeah. But, man, it's been tough, man. We had a JV middle school game up at Ardmore last week, and I think they were training some guys because the head AHSAA guy was up there kind of talking to them and stuff during halftime, and I'm pretty sure we had a middle school game. The first half was an hour and a half.
Wow.
Because I got there thinking we would be close to the end of the game for the JV game, and they hadn't even got to halftime yet, and I was like, what's going on, guys? And some people was like, well, we've thrown 30 flags in a middle school game in the first half. But anyway, lots of fun. It seems to be the going thing on Friday nights. We have a lot of flags on both sides. And I understand throwing flags that are blatant, that affect plays, things of that nature. I mean, we can call holding on every play if we wanted to. But it's almost like no teams can get any kind of momentum because there's flags. And I know we're early in the season. I know a lot of these teams will clean this stuff up, and then we'll get to some cleaner football as we continue chugging along. But anyway, we appreciate the officials.
Yeah, we do.
Jay, we may need to start doing that on the side, make a little extra money.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I may do that when my kids get a little older and I'm not locked down on Friday nights. All right, West Morgan, let's see. They travel to Danville. That's another region game for the Wildcats. Danville is 2-1. They are 1 let's see, I got them 1-1 in region play. They have beat Wilson and then lost to Dessler last week. And so Danville's 2-1, 1-1 in region play. Website has West favored by 16. You like it?
Yeah.
I do too. I think West will cover that 16 points and maybe get things back in the win column, get the offense clicking, and then it could be 20 or more.
Now, is that game at West or is it Danville?
That game is at West Limestone.
Okay.
And no, I'm sorry, it is at Danville.
Okay.
I apologize. So West Limestone will go on the road to Danville. That's a pretty good haul from West to Danville. That's maybe
is.
hour 15 or so.
Probably.
Yeah, so West Limestone will be traveling to Danville this Friday night. Moving over from West to Elkmont. Elkmont had Lauderdale County. Was that at Elkmont?
That's at Lauderdale County.
Okay, Elkmont traveled to Lauderdale County, and Lauderdale County, the juggernaut, in play in North Alabama, 149-8. It was Lauderdale County was up 37-8 at halftime.
And just talking to Coach Shrink Saturday, he was on the show, and he had 4 guys out, and one of them was his kicker.
Okay.
So he was telling us, he didn't have a kicker, so he just told him just to, shank it. Not shank it, but pooch kick it or whatever.
Yeah.
And after they scored, and so they're kicking off, well, the coach for Lauderdale County thought he was trying to onside kick. So he puts his starters back in, and they get that last score or 2 scores or whatever it was. And
well, that was halftime. Elmont scored it before halftime, didn't it?
Yeah. I guess.
Also, he already had the starters out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had I think he said 60 or 70 kids, and they got 20.
Yeah.
They're down 5 kids.
Well, I was going to say they only start off season with maybe 28, 29 kids, and those injuries and other things start to happen, man. You're getting low.
He said he told him, after the game, I didn't have a kicker. And he said, I wasn't trying to do nothing. He said, that's the best the kid could do.
Yeah.
So,
hey, buddy, that's all I got, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, chill out.
Yeah.
You're already up 30.
Yeah.
Elkmont will go to Colbert Heights, who we just talked about in the Clements game. I think we mentioned Colbert Heights is 3-0 and 1-0 in region play. They got Colbert Heights favored by 13 in that game. Is Elkmont expecting to get any of those kids back?
He said he may. He said he didn't know for sure, but he thinks he may get them back. So, but like I said, Colbert Heights, all they do is run the ball.
Yep. And
a little trap stuff. So,
any misdirection? I mean, they're running a double wing.
Yeah. Something
like that.
Yeah. So,
cool.
And Coach told us that he'd been watching them, looking at film on them since Monday. So,
well, good. Maybe they can load the box up, shut the run down, and see what happens.
Maybe they can hold it. They beat the spread or whatever. But I think Colbert Heights will win the game.
Yeah. Again, Colbert Heights favored by 13. We'll take the Red Devils and the points.
Yeah.
I think if they're not passing at all, if you can somehow figure out how to load the box and shut that run down, if they're one-dimensional already, and hopefully Coach can dial something up, get a couple scores, and get back in the win column. That will be a region game for both of those teams. And moving on to Athens. Athens had a big game down at Coleman, and they ended up winning 24-14. Athens now 3-0 on the season, 1-0 in region play. kind of cool thing. Friday night, a bunch of Ardmore folks, we played in Priceville. We'll mention that here shortly. And JW Steakhouse right there at the Priceville exit. Big eatery, local eatery down that way. And so a lot of us went by there to grab a steak and some good food before the game Friday night. And it was packed full of Ardmore and Athens people because all the Athens were traveling down to Coleman. So a lot of those folks were stopping there as well. So really cool to see. Probably 60% of the people in the building was Ardmore Athens people. You know, a few Priceville folks sprinkled in and Decatur folks sprinkled in. But I love going to JW's on Friday nights of big games because it has kind of a small college feel to it, in there because everybody's there for game days. It's kind of like going to Tuscaloosa on game day or Saturday or Auburn. You go in a restaurant and everybody's decked out in their gear. So it's a lot of fun, and the food's fantastic as well. Shameless plug for JW Steakhouse. Maybe somebody from JW Steakhouse is listening and
or watching our video.
Yeah, send us a free gift card for giving you a shout out. But anyway, Athens went down to Coleman. Tight game at halftime. Athens was up 10-0, and then they stretched it out in the second half and ended up winning 24-14. Know anything about that game?
Well, we talked to Coach Gross, and he said, you know, when you go to Coleman, you're going to expect to fight. And they knew they were in for one. And like I said, up 10-0. He said it was a struggle there. He said second half they just come out and dominated and try to get the win, which they did. So congratulations to the Eagles, Golden Eagles.
Good win. They're on track. You know, I think first episode we were pinning them for about 8 wins on the season, and they looks like they're heading in that direction. So they get a bye week this week, which I assume is much needed. We say that every week when teams get bye weeks, but you can heal up, do some extra things at practice, work on some things that maybe you don't have time to work on when it's game weeks. Yeah. And so I know they're looking forward to that. So we'll jump back on the Athens bandwagon next week and talk about their game following their bye week.
I'm anxious to see what the Beyond the Lights will be with the off week, how they follow them that week.
Yeah,
practice.
I need to go check that out. I still have not been able to do that. Again, that's a kind of a series that Channel 48's doing on their app. You can go check that out, similar to the one HBO does, Hard Knocks, but it's with the local Athens High School football team. And, looking forward to seeing what that turns out and what it looks like.
It's fun to watch. It's, when they talk to Cody's wife and talking about all the stuff, it gets emotional, because this is it. Brogan's the senior. This is no more Grosses at Athens.
Yeah. So, I didn't think about that point of view from the show, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
So, it's got some other things going on than just football.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's family. Like she said, it's faith, football, family, and football. Mm-hmm. So. They're great people. They're here in the congregation, but great folks. And
Hey, funny story. I had texted Coach Gross last night. I sent him a clip from one of Snyder's pregame pep talks that I was recording. I do a lot of hype stuff for Ardmore football, and he had quoted Cody in a quote in his pregame hype, and of course I clipped it and sent it to Cody, and I just mentioned to him I really appreciate his investment into Coach Snyder, because if you're not aware, Coach Snyder coached defense for Cody for about 9 years there at Athens, and just everything that he was able to glean from Cody, he's now putting those things in processes and protocols and things at Ardmore High School. So we're seeing the benefits of what Cody has done through the years as Coach Snyder's now doing those things, and Coach Snyder's now doing those things with assistant coaches in his coaching tree, and hopefully some of those guys can later on down the road do some of the same things as well. So I'm very appreciative of his kind of, I called it legacy because it is.
Yeah, and he took the Midnight Madness like Cody does, and doing it at Ardmore, and the community turns out just like they do up here in town. So
and see, that's I hate to get all spiritual, but that's discipleship.
Yeah.
101.
Yes.
Just taking the things that you've been taught and applying those to wherever you are.
Yes.
You do the same things at the church house.
Yep.
And so it's good to see those guys doing that in the athletic world.
And Coach Snyder comes from a great church at Woolley too, and a great pastor, Tony Boyles, and they do great things up there as well. So
yeah, not to mention Coach Snyder is a coach's son.
Yeah.
And so he has a wealth of knowledge, and he's got one Mr. Steve Carter on the sideline helping him calling defense. Friday night, I was standing beside Coach Carter when we're on defense. I could stand there and listen to him call defense on that headset all night long. It's fantastic. Now he's also, I think, helping UNA out this season as like an analyst. I seen a little article on Twitter about that, and I think he's maybe just kind of doing that remote. Not sure of the details. Probably watching film, kind of helping them scheme early in the week for the next game coming up. But
good
anyway,
good for him.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. Moving on, East Limestone had a bye week this past week.
You gonna go back and talk about who Ardmore plays, or you gonna wait?
Yeah. That's our recognition team. We'll get to them at the end. I'm sorry.
My bad. I'm sorry.
We kind of jumped ahead. East Limestone had a bye week this past week, much needed, and especially. With their opponent this week, they got Russellville coming to town. Russellville comes in 2-1. Only loss is to Mars Hill, which is a big-time football program. They are 1-0 on the season. They just defeated Lawrence County in their first region game. They come in favored by 24.
Wow, and and that's probably true. Maybe Coach Johnson got more stuff put in this week.
Yeah.
For those kids, and like we said starting out, he come in shorthanded,
right?
And they were just running off of what Coach Franks had as the interim and what they ran last year. So
he's still got any kids out. I know he had some injuries.
Yeah, Hayden's still out. I know he's done for the year because he had MCL and ACL.
Hey man, hate to hear that.
Yeah, and I think Jake Cochran, the quarterback, he may be back.
Yeah, I
think it was something minor, but. As far as I know, it was the injuries they had, but maybe they'll get it turned around.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding this week with Russellville coming to town. Russellville comes to town with probably one of the top 5 backs in the state is what I've told. I know his statistics last year back that up, but and just a little bit of film I've watched of Russellville, he's still toting the mail pretty good.
Yeah.
And so Russellville will be favored by 24 over at East Limestone this Friday night. And getting to our team of the week, our recognition of the week goes to the Ardmore Tigers. Ardmore went down to Priceville, first region game. The guys online had it kind of a pick on. I think they had Ardmore favored by 1. And then Ardmore goes down and beats Priceville 28-6. It was 14-0 at halftime. Offense kind of struggled a little bit, just putting some long drives together. But in the second half, put some more points on the board, had another pick 6 late in the game to make it 28-6. And so the Ardmore Tigers is the Limestone County Sports team of the week. Jay, you know anything? Got any details about any of that stuff?
Well, we talked to Coach Snyder as well, and he said kids played hard. He said, going to Priceville, it's tough playing down there. So he said the kids did well, and they showed up and showed out, and just congratulations to them. Ardmore, they're doing something special. And I told him, I said, with them running backs you got, I said, they remind me of 2 guys, Lawrence Maroney and the guy who played for the Cowboys.
Who?
Marion Barber.
Oh, yeah.
They're that type of running backs, and Riddle and Hawthorne.
Yep. Hawthorne ripped off an 80-yarder. I think that was in the first half, and then Riddle had a 55-yarder. I think they were both over 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken. That's via huddle stats. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off. So, not sure on the exact numbers. But both those dudes can tote the rock and did a fine job Friday night. Let's see. Ardmore has Fairview coming to town. This Friday night, Ardmore will be back at home for the first time since the opening week against Tanner. And Fairview comes in. I think Fairview is just 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. I think Fairview has only played 2 games instead of 3, and that is correct. They beat Springville 41-17, and then in the first region matchup last week against West Point, beat them 48-13. So as we know, traditionally Fairview, fantastic football program. Yeah. I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago they went to the quarterfinals. Had that really good back. Eli Frost, he kind of slowed down last year, had some injuries and things, but all of those dudes have graduated, the big name guys that you know, but they're just reloading again and got tons of talent. They like to run the ball, smash mouth running the ball, and do it very well.
And they're ranked, what, 5th or 6th in the state?
Yeah, it depends on which poll you look at. Someone's 5, 6, anywhere in between there. Again, I watched a little film on them in I think it was the West Point game, doing the same things they've always done, just run the ball very, very well, play good defense. And so Ardmore will have their hands full Friday night. Ardmore's schedule over the next couple of games, tough sledding. Got Fairview at home, then they go to Russellville the next week, and then they close out September with Madison County. So the next 2 games, very crucial. We were talking a couple of weeks ago of these 3-game region run between Priceville, Fairview, Russellville. If you get one of those games, you're still in a great position to secure a playoff spot. If you can get 2 of the 3, you're in real good position to possibly host a playoff game, which, again, as we've mentioned, Ardmore's never done. And then if you get 3 of them, bro, you talking about some other goals instead of just being a region champion. Yeah. But, again, we know these 2 games, these are the 2 best teams on our schedule. Russellville and Fairview, traditionally over the last 4 to 5 year run, has just battled it out for that region championship. Fairview's actually beat Russellville a couple times, and Russellville's beat Fairview a couple times. So those 2 programs, very similar. And the pundits online have Fairview favored by 8 points. What do you think about that, Jay?
I think Ardmore keeps it close, and I think Fairview pulls it out, but it's going to be close, maybe by a point and a half.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Jay, I'm going to kick you in the throat. No, I'm joking. No, you know I'm biased.
I'm
biased. So
I love to see Ardmore win, but
I'm never picking against the Ardmore Tigers, but I definitely take the Ardmore Tigers in the 8 points. Our defense, just going a little bit of detail about that, our defense has played lights out. To win that game, our offense is going to have to get rolling, have some long, sustained drives, putting points on the board, and keep that going for 4 quarters. If they do that, I think they can win that game at home and really set themselves up to host a playoff game, which, again, has never happened at Ardmore High School.
And just I know the community will show up. They'll show up, be loud.
It'll be a packed house.
And Saturday on the show, Coach Legg told Coach Snyder, he said, you need to tell Ball to let y'all out of school early, get everything set up, ready to go.
Yeah, right.
Well, especially the painters, they got to get that field ready to go. So
well, we've already discussed that. There is supposedly like a tropical storm going to come rolling through, like they're saying Thursday and Friday. Mm-hmm. And so Thursday has been our paint day. And so we're already talking about, hey, guys, can y'all paint on Wednesday instead of Thursday?
We may have Saturday morning games.
We've done that before.
Yeah, you played Elkmont.
Yep, Elkmont and Ardmore played at Ardmore on a Saturday morning one time.
Because we did the show there that morning.
Yep. That'd be fun. My daughter got married that day, and so I was not able to attend because when you're talking about things taking precedence, your daughter getting married over a freshman playing a football game. We went to the wedding, and so I had to miss it. But I was like, man, that'd been awesome. You could set up and tailgate all morning and be great.
And just looking the way the weatherman is talking this morning, either way, they're showing Memphis could get almost 6 inches. We could get 3 inches. But if that thing moves either way.
Yep. Well, that's what we're going to do, the paint crew. is going to kind of play it by ear and probably call it tomorrow afternoon. We may go up and paint some lines and numbers on Wednesday and wait on that big logo that we do, because that's a ton of paint, and I would hate to throw that thing down and it just get washed away. We may paint the lines and numbers and stuff, and then come back Friday morning and paint the logo, or we might just roll with no logo this week. I mean, hey,
I know it takes a while.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of paint.
Yep. Don't know. We'll figure it out though. Again, Fairview comes to town 3-0, 1-0. In region play, and they are favored by 8, and everybody on this show's picking Ardmore to cover those 8 points. Just a couple of other things of note via the website ahsfhs.org, where we get a ton of our statistics. A couple of our teams that we cover are in some statistics that they have there. They have like total offense, total defense. Ardmore is number 10 in the state in total defense. That's all classifications.
Wow.
They are number 2 in 5A.
Wow.
And that is based on just points scored. So average points they're giving up per game. Ardmore now, I think, at 4.3 is how many points they're giving up per game. They are number 2 in the state in 5A, number 10 in all classifications. That's awesome. That is. Athens is number 36 in the state, and they are number 3 in 6A total defense. So pretty good defense there as well. Other team of note, West Limestone is number 8 in 4A in total defense. I try to look offensively. We didn't really have any teams, local teams, up in any of those statistics up high enough to mention. And one other thing of note, Athens' total wins program history is now at 598.
Wow.
They are 2 wins away from the 600 club in high school football.
That's awesome.
So if you're there at Athens, you may want to note that. If they get 2 more wins, that would be win number 6.
I can see that happening this year.
Yes. If it doesn't, Jesus has returned.
Yes.
And ain't none of us worried about football. Jay, before we leave today, we actually run a little late, but we've got a couple minutes. I had a good friend send in a video that I think is fantastic, and we'll put it on the screen. If you're listening, I would encourage you maybe to go to YouTube and check out this video. It came in from Megan and Brandon Dempsey. Their son, Riker Dempsey, is playing flag football up at the local rec center here in Athens, and he has a beautiful pick 6. If you're getting to watch this online, the team looks like it's comprised of maybe 4 or 5 young men on both sides of the ball, and maybe some ladies out there as well. I can't see on the other side of the field, but there's the coaches are the all-time quarterbacks of both teams, as you would imagine. If you're throwing to 5 and 6 year olds, if it was 5 and 6 year olds throwing to 5 and 6 year olds, you may be there all day. Yeah. And so the coach tries to throw it to this young man. He tips it, and Riker Dempsey picks it off and houses it for the pick 6, and it is fantastic. Riker's also got his hair like he likes it. It's business in the front, party in the rear with the gold locks. Who was the guy back in the day who had the long hair in the back? Seemed like he played for Oklahoma or Oklahoma State.
Bosworth.
Yes, that's what this reminds me of, is Bosworth, if you know him or if you're old enough to remember that name from back in the day. And Riker, it's a tip drill. Tipped right to him, he picks it off, and then he takes it to the house. So shout out Riker Dempsey, play of the week. If you have, go ahead.
I wish we had this when we was kids.
Yeah, that'd have been awesome. That'd have been great. If you got any kind of videos, high school, JV, middle school, flag football, rec league ball, you just want to send something in, you can DM us on Facebook, put it in the comments, and we'd love to just give your kids a shout out on Limestone County Sports. We appreciate you listening. Jay, you like to mention anything before we leave?
Well, just thank everybody for the likes and the views and posting the videos and their scores. And once again, every Saturday morning from 10 to 12 on WKAC and the PAS Plus app, Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We'll talk again to our local coaches and our special guests. So tune in to us every Saturday morning from 10 to 12. And like I said, go on to tailgatetalk.net and enter nominations for our Athlete of the Week and vote on the poll we have up. I think Tim puts the poll up today, so vote on that and help some young athlete get a gift card from Applebee's and a Tailgate Talk T-shirt.
Yeah, that's recognition for local athletes, again, here in Limestone County. Yeah. And appreciate you listening. Tune into that show. And
good luck to all our teams this week.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back with you next week and updating you on all these Limestone County wins. Hope you have a fantastic week. God bless.
Take care.